Let's do your blue bus again, Rhiannon.
Hmm?
I just turn on record. Over hill and dale.
What's the title?
It's Sri Meher Baba Impressions. And there's a short one, two others, and then the last one we're going to read today. And it just really has some gems. You're familiar with a lot of the terms, but it foreshadows a lot of what's coming in a simple way. And then we'll read from Norina's gift, and where we're picking up from last week is just after she met Baba. So this seems to be working, with going with the Wednesdays. So we will.
I want to hop and contribute something that really helped me as far as the mystical language. Let's see, I'll get it. This is from Norina's diary, fragments from a spiritual diary. I'm just going to read half of it, but it's on page 97 if you have the book. To be able to believe me, open your heart. Do not allow your heart to be obscured by giving to the head any imaginary motives to argue. Rest in me. Be selflessly detached when you are consciously experiencing unqualified confidence in my divinity. Be sure I have come to this world to achieve the new wonder of spiritual resurrection. I put into you the desire to use your intellect to serve me. That service will initiate in you and in the world a new rhythm of pure and selfless love. How I achieved this wonder of spiritual resurrection is no more a secret. I am here real and dynamically active in your higher self. I am the self immutable in all creatures. I like being called creature. It kind of puts me in my place.
Very good. Jai Baba. So as before, we're continuing with Norina's gift, and in the introduction by Charles and Christopher, and we left off just after Norina met Baba in Harmon on Hudson. And as it says, from that day forward, Norina gave her life in service to Mayor Baba's work. So continuing, let me just. Oh. Always do something here. During the early 1930s, she traveled with Baba throughout Europe and America and was among the small group of Western women to tour India with him in 1933. Baba gave her the Persian name Nur Jahan, light of the world. And as Norina's journals from the years 1932 to 1933 reveal, often elaborated on her position within his circle of disciples. Her connections with him in previous lives and the work that she would carry out for him in his present advent. He told her, for example, that in the structure of his circle, she was the 12th member of each concentric circle of 12 disciples up to the 9th circle. Norina also recorded Baba's telling her that in a former incarnation she had been Saint Joseph, the father of Jesus. The following statements by Meher Baba can be found in one of her early journals. Mary conceived when she was in a superconscious state. Joseph was a very wonderful, pure man, almost greater than Mary on account of his past connections with the inner circle. In this life, he is incarnated as Narina. She was also Draupadi, sister of Krishna, who with Radha were the two most important women in Krishna's life. Narina, in Avatar's period, reincarnated alternatively as man and then as woman. She was mother and father, mother of Baba in his last reincarnation. Baba's words identifying Narina with Saint Joseph have a special resonance when considered in the context of a postcard sent by Baba to Norina on Christmas Day 1933 during his visit to Cairo, Egypt.
The front of the card shows a stepped pyramid labeled Pyramid of Sahara, Cairo. The message on the back reads, "This is where we spent part of Christmas Day. And also it is the spot where in past ages, you and I and a few of the circle passed special days together. All my love, M.S. Arani." While in Cairo, Baba visited a Coptic church that was built over a spot where, according to legend, Joseph, Mary, and Jesus rested during their flight into Egypt. During his travels in Europe in 1932, Baba again confirmed Norina's ancient connection with him, as recorded in one of her journals from this period. In Genoa, he said, "Whether you succeed or not remember, you go with me in June for good. I love you more than all." I doubted in false modesty. He made a sign deep down to his heart. Old context is the meaning. He said I was the mother of all. I was his mother too. When, in a past reincarnation, it seems I alternate sex in his avataric life. He says always, "You are dear to me. I love you more than any, but we are all of him. So why doubt or ask or want any particular position?" Just as in previous lives, according to Baba, Norina had at different times been the avatar's mother and father. So, in her current incarnation, she held the position of his mother, though not biologically. Baba's definition for my suffering that I felt impersonally was, "It is due to your position as my mother that you take on a bit of my sufferings." In his letters to her during the 1930s, he often called Norina his mother, addressing her, for example, as beloved mother, Nahur Jahan, darling. The following letter was sent by Baba to Norina from Hollywood on December 31st, 1934. Mummy mine, I am infinite. I am eternal. I know everything. I am everywhere. I am all power, knowledge, and bliss. Whatever I say is right. Whatever I do is right. Whatever I will is right. It is the delusion of duality and the illusion of Maya that sometimes makes them appear untrue. All I say, do, and will is for the upliftment of the innumerable beings merged in the sea of ignorance. And for that I have to bear the cross of untold infinite sufferings, being misunderstood and opposed. You have to share in my suffering. In love, faith, and service for me, you have gone far ahead of others. So try never to feel depressed, disheartened, desperate, and disappointed, but go on till the very end, helping in the work of your beloved divine child, M.S. Irani.
As this letter and Norina's early 1930s journals attest, Baba often reminded her that she would participate in his suffering. I have always suffered for the universe. I have been crucified 1,000 times and will be 1,000 times more. So you can share a little in my sufferings. He also let her know that she would have much important work to do for him during her lifetime. You shall do unmortal work for me. Immortal. You shall do immortal work for me. Norina's external work for Baba began, in fact, almost immediately after first meeting him. During the 1930s, she was not only responsible for introducing many international acquaintances, often artists, scholars, and members of the European aristocracy to Meher Baba, but she was also placed in charge of Baba's film project. He wrote to her, "Remember, Mummy, the producing of the film lies mainly in your hands. Together with other of the Western disciples, especially Elizabeth Patterson, whom she had befriended at Harmon-on-Hudson in 1931, Norina worked to find the necessary funds for the project and to obtain a script that pleased Baba's. Norina's first husband, Karl Vollmuller, who had authored The Miracle, offered one such script based on Baba's directives entitled How It Happened.
Her work in Europe and America on the film, however, was interrupted when, in 1936, Baba called some of his Western disciples for an extended stay in India to reside at his new ashram in Nasik. At Nasik, Baba gave Norina the title of Managing Mother, which meant that she had the responsibilities of looking after the retreat's expenses, food, and supplies, and taking care of special problems, such as illnesses, a sort of mother prioress role, that no doubt suited Norina's hardworking, expansive personality, but that seems to have incurred both appreciation and resentment from the other ashram residents. After the Nasik retreat disbanded in 1937, Norina was among the small group of Western women who resided with Baba's Eastern female disciples on Mehrabad Hill. There, she and Elizabeth Patterson began the Meher Baba Journal, a monthly periodical that was published from 1938 to 1942. Baba contributed a discourse to each issue. Norina, the literary editor, authored many articles about life with Baba, writings that concentrated on interior experience of him.
In 1941, Baba sent Norina Elizabeth and Countess Nadine Tolstoy, the widow of Leo Tolstoy's son, Count Ilya Tolstoy, to America, where they were to collaborate in spreading Baba's message. Norina and Elizabeth were given the responsibility of establishing a home for Baba in the West, a place where he could come and stay for extended periods with his disciples. When the three women were in Bombay, awaiting the day of their departure by ship from India, Baba consoled and encouraged them with the following letter, written from Ajmer on June 6, 1941. Dear Norina Elizabeth Nadine, I know you three constantly think of me, and beloved Baba also has you eternally in his heart. You must have only one fixed thought in your minds, and that is that you are going to do Baba's great work. You must render everything I told you. You must remember everything I told you, and happily, bravely, and willingly carry them out. We will surely meet again in 6 months. I received Norina's wire about Mrs. Harvey and Elizabeth about the departure on the 7th and about car, etc. I am happy Kippy, Elizabeth Boston's terrier, is better. All here remember you and miss you. Tomorrow I break my fast. I will be with you all along, so be cheerful and all three work wholeheartedly and cooperatively for my great work. Love, dictated by Baba. Reply this letter before you go. Next subtitle, Serving the Beloved, the Work of Thought Transmission.
After her arrival in New York, Norina attracted much media attention. The following is excerpted from the New York World Telegram of September 10, 1941. The article contains two pictures, one of Norina as the Madonna in the Miracle, the other a photo of her taken in 1941, in which she wears a simple black dress and a pearl necklace. The headlines reads, Princess back to teach world to give. Disciple of Meher Baba in India learns to put aside worldly things. She's a different person now. Princess Norina Matchabelli After spending 5 years in India as a disciple of Meher Baba, Parsi spiritual leader, has returned to America to spread the word of her teacher. New York will remember her as Maria Carmi, the exotic Italian actress who once played the role of the Madonna in The Miracle. Park Avenue knew her as the beautiful and socially minded wife of the late George Matchabelli, Russian perfume manufacturer. Went to India.
It was after her husband's death that the Princess Matchabelli went to India to live at Ahmednagar, where Meher Baba has his main ashram. She smiled. I was very worldly. I took along my 50 dresses, 60 pairs of shoes, 20 hats, my perfumes and jewels, everything I had here. Baba didn't say don't use these things. He put me in a luxurious ashram with other new followers. Finally, the day came when we were all ashamed to have all these luxuries when all the others were living so simply. Baba's hut had only a mattress on which he slept and a little carpet on which he received visitors. He's truly poor, never accumulating, always sharing. Suddenly, I became aware I was living like a crazy bourgeoisie. Is that bourgeois? Bourgeois, I'm not sure. I have given away everything but this dress, pointing to the one she had on, and a simple change of clothes. The dress she had on was one bought 8 years ago at Vionet's. The pearls she found in a bag when she began to get ready to come back to New York. A different person.
But I had no hat. I traveled bareheaded all the way from India. When I got here, I bought a hat for $2.50. She smiled. I met a friend on this street a few days ago, whom I hadn't seen since 1936. She was elegant in the latest hat, the newest style dress. She asked me where I bought my hat. She said it looked so chic. Walking through the streets, the princess wonders if it can be she. I am an entirely different person, she declared. I am liberated. I am no more dependent on riches, social advancement, extraordinary foods. Once I couldn't sleep on a bed unless it cost a certain price. Now I turn as a flower toward the sun. I make my own breakfast of toast and tea and usually burn the toast because I am distracted. I buy my own food in the market. I carry it home in brown paper sacks. I do my own room, my own laundry. When I look back on my former life with all of its complications and worries, I can see I was a crazy old fool. Through Meher Baba, I have become an entirely different world citizen. I'm a young and happy woman.
Soon after returning to New York, Norina, Elizabeth, and Nadine lived together in an apartment at 130 East 67th Street. Norina took the smallest room in the house, wore very simple clothing, often in black, and dedicated herself to Meher Baba's work. Elizabeth saw to the business details, while Nadine greeted acquaintances who wished to know more of Meher Baba. In addition to their busy lives in the city, Norina and Elizabeth traveled to all parts of the United States, searching for the place that would fulfill all of Baba's requirements for his home in the West. On October 27th, 1942, Elizabeth received this cable from Baba. I know how wholeheartedly Norina works, helped by you. Love to all lovers. Meher Baba Irani. Throughout the 1940s, until her return to India in 1947, Norina worked for Baba primarily through a method she termed thought transmission or thought order. According to Norina's own understanding of this remarkable phenomenon, she inwardly received messages from Meher Baba, though he was thousands of miles away in India, and then spoke them or recorded them on paper. When using the first person singular, I or me, she was speaking as Meher Baba. Norina gave large numbers of public lectures in this way, presenting Baba's messages to audiences as though he himself were present, delivering a discourse. When she and Elizabeth traveled across America, looking for a place to build Baba's center, she gave public talks in the cities they visited, using the method of thought transmission. The majority of these speaking occasions were held in New York City, where she delivered Baba's messages at such venues as Carnegie Hall and the Hotel MacAlpin. Invitations were printed and mailed to various individuals whom Norina and Elizabeth and Nadine had contacted.
Norina was particular about every detail of the arrangements for these events. During the public lectures in New York, for example, she required the use of a high-backed Italian chair with large wooden arms covered in a yellow olive velvet. This chair is now kept in the building known as the Barn at Mayfair Spiritual Center in Myrtle Beach. Elizabeth recalled that when departing for the lecture hall, they would have to search for a taxi big enough to haul such a large piece of furniture. Once the audience was gathered, waiting for the lecture to begin, there would usually be a short introduction explaining what was about to take place. Prior to a talk delivered on January 31st, 1943, just before Norina began to transmit Baba's message, she offered this preface to prepare the audience for the phenomenon they would witness. I am transmitting to you a direct message which is just as simple as a radio message. It is from my beloved master, Meher Baba, in India through me here in New York. It is not mechanically reproduced unless I sit before a microphone. He merely obliterated my pituitary gland and through his grace had my pineal gland open. His voice comes through the etheric ear, which is above the physical ear. Everything is divine, though not all acknowledged. I might be said in this moment to become divine as he transmits his voice through me. Unfortunately, I am unable to change faces or temperament. Being of a nature type with individual characteristics, such as we all have, he uses me as I am. My nature and subtler intellectual intuition are definitely useful to him. The only difference is that instead of me using me in my temperament, he uses it. He wills my temperament and other spiritual characteristics. But you do not all understand these things. So I am producing today the light current of someone who is divine human, supreme perfection. The one who has reached God realization, called the man Meher Baba, perfect master.
Many of those who attended Norina's lectures noted that when Baba began to speak through her, a transformation became apparent both in the atmosphere and in Norina's own physical appearance. Her facial features were suffused with a spiritual beauty, which one observer likened to the head of Christ in Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper. One is reminded of the similarly powerful reactions of audience members who had attended her performances decades earlier in The Miracle. Whenever Norina was planning a public lecture, she would notify Baba in India, and he often responded with a cable blessing the event. For example, on April 24th, 1943, she received a cable from him saying, "Blessed Astor Hotel Blessings, Astor Hotel Lecture." And in 1945, he cabled, "My blessings for 3 public discourses." She wrote extensively to Baba about her method of speaking through thought transmission, and on April 12, 1944, while Baba was in seclusion, she received a letter from his disciple Chanji, F.H. Dadachanji, encouraging her unique way of delivering Baba's messages to United States audiences. Dear Norina, your letters to dear Baba have all been duly received. How happy it makes the beloved to need you not, how happy it makes the beloved, you need not be told. You know and feel that within the self that is the beloved in you. The expression of the depth of love and height of devotion as poured out herein bespeak the intensity of a heart that throbs only for the dearly beloved, lives in him and for him alone. The beloved is indeed very happy to know of the way you become his mouthpiece and bestirs and surcharge the atmosphere with his love and being wherever you move. It needs no sanction, since you are entirely under his guidance, speaking of him and for him to all who truly need his love, grace, and guidance. What is it but the greatest miracle of love that you have dedicated your very life and existence to the sacred cause of the beloved Lord, devoting every moment in his service for the spiritual regeneration of mankind, now in the throes of distress and destruction.
No life could be better lived, no existence better spared. no love better expressed, no service better rendered. Be you truly blessed, more and more, Nur Jahan, the beloved of the Lord. May you abide forever in his infinite heart, pouring out his love to struggling humanity, now in the greatest need of this divine torch bearer of humanity, to select his own torch for shedding the light and luster of love and understanding to a world now groping in the dark, hankering after happiness that is illusory and bringing misery in its wake. While the dear master continues his humanitarian and spiritual activities here in absolute silence and seclusion, unknown to any of his real identity, his greatest medium and mouthpiece in you convey his message of love to the civilized world on the other side, instilling in them the new light and understanding, and making them conscious of the love divine that will guide them aright in the spirit of selfless service and brotherhood of humanity. The principal characteristics for the spiritual awakening and unfoldment that is to bring about the universal spiritual upheaval and renovation in the near future.
Though Chanji writes that Norina's activities needed no sanction, Mayor Baba did in fact express his written approval of her thought transmission. His message came as a result of some tensions that had arisen in the late spring of 1944, when apparently someone complained to Baba about the context of Norina's lectures, perhaps accusing her of delving into political issues. Norina became aware of this and immediately wrote the following to Baba in India. In your discourses, there is no other subject to be discussed or brought to deeper understanding than the one on spirituality as the only real science of life. The theme I am so eager to bring to the minds here in the West is the theme that I have earned to understand when with you in the East for 5 years. It is that all is portion and part of the never-ending evolutionary plan, and that ignorance as well as knowledge of deeper and higher truth is more or less ephemeral understanding of the one and only pure state of being, which is in you so great, so real, and so tangible. Baba responded with a cable sent to Norina on July 6, 1944. Your letter of explanation received. Don't worry. I know your unbounded love and perfect trust in me, for whom you are working with full dedication of very life. Continue your spiritual work for me with greater force. Mayor Baba Irani. He affirmed this message with a second cable dated August 8, 1944. Letter of 18th received. All is clear. You know I trust you implicitly for my spiritual work. Love, blessings all. Mayor Baba Irani. I think let's stop there. I guess actually let's continue this.
This introduction. 2 years later, in a cable sent to Norina on February 17th, 1946, Baba again expressed approval of her work for him. I sanction and bless the message of January 31st regarding your work. Norina through thought order and Jean through intellectual fervor, and Elizabeth through sacrificial behavior, and Malcolm through full faith endeavor, and Nadine through life surrender, and Marquis through art's maneuver, and few others who with love remember are all working more or less for me. Meher Baba Irani. In addition to her public lectures, Norina also put thought transmission to use on a smaller scale. She regularly transmitted Baba's discourses at intimate gatherings held at a studio adjoining the New York apartment. Moreover, on a daily basis, quite apart from any sort of formal occasion, she received Baba's messages and recorded them on paper. She either sat at a typewriter and wrote them out herself, or else dictated them to someone who recorded them in longhand, usually Nadine and later Phyllis Frederick. Often these pieces of thought transmission were intended as messages for specific individuals, especially the other women living in the New York apartment, Elizabeth, Nadine, Phyllis, and Adele Walken. Norina even received and recorded instructions to herself. The volume of these written communications was staggering. Each day, Norina compiled pages of material, always dealing with some spiritual point, but often addressing practical issues as well, such as living arrangements in the apartment, food, schedule, and visitors.
Jai Baba, I guess. Let's stop there. That was quite a bit, but I didn't want to end in the middle of some of those important communications from Baba. So now we'll switch. Is there any comments before we switch to the Iding?
Hi.
And we'll
Let me hear about the concert.
no, after. We'll go to this is the last of the articles entitled Sri Meher Baba Impressions, and it's really special.
I think there was a typo early on with Norina's husband. I don't know what it was. It should have been she, and it said he reincarnated. I don't know. Never mind.
You know, it could be because she was referring to her roles as in different incarnations as a man or a woman. I think she actually said she alternated them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It was on page 14, fourth sentence. Anyway.
Very good. I will check it out. Actually, Rosalie has the book. She'll check it out. So we'll begin with Sri Meher Baba Impressions, unless someone else has something, by Princess Norina Matchabelli. We may complain, feel lonesome, want more love, more appreciation. We miss recognition. We dread criticism. We lack humor and cannot bear to be laughed at. We then call on him for pure understanding. We speak to him openly from the heart in the straight personal way that we cannot disguise when confronted before him. He will answer, I am in everyone. When they laugh at you, it is I who laugh at you. See me in everyone. Bear it for the love of me. See me alive in all and everyone as the act in reaction that has to perform in you the creation plan in being.
In all in life, the pure, the good, the false, the non-important fact is me. See me as the important order in anyone to sow in reaction the real pure opposition, and that is in being. To you, life is martyrdom in reaction. In reality, life is pure winning order in opposition as experience. Everyone in is use of my life in true, pure opposing order. Take it lightly, be real, be calm, and react only in me. I am the pure one in you. What he says fulfills. Sometimes when the pure vision becomes obscured by thoughts, desires, wants, and we lose lightness in mood, never will he touch at the ordeal's problem. Like the sun behind the clouds, will he rise above and project the warm light and transform the dull show of our individuality into pure state of stupefaction, of love, joy, bliss. His whole life in expansion in divine love is impersonal sharing, indivisible union with us.
Communion.
His whole life in expansion in divine love is impersonal sharing, indivisible communion with us. Life, human creature, life as nature, life as being. Life is practical. Life is use. The divine mutual good is the constant use. He never wastes.
He is clever, sagacious, astute, quick in response, playing with anyone's ideas, humorously tolerant with our dual speculative experiment in thoughts, and unconsciously prepared thoughts. He can avoid beforehand to save us from doing a wrong deed. He often stages confusion, call it trial, call it quest. Winning in the game, he reveals the impersonal state within. We experience non-attachment to self-satisfaction. He plays games with us, making us invent situations. He then lures our soul-driven imagination. When he laughs with the sad child of this world, he liberates it from the attachment to pain. Life is mind, and in mind he reigns unselfish, pure. He is control of life in every order in mind. He can do in ways unseen what no ordinary man can. He is in life a man, executive, impersonal, simple, so natural that for the old-fashioned, conventional, orthodox in mind, who can conceive divinity only through the masquerade of rituals and the practice of austerity, he appears too human, expressing through art, through science, through any work of mind, through life and spirit. He is the unconditional, pure work of truth that stirs, that performs the awakening. Life is the instrument through which he works. Reacting in it, he fulfills the ideal form that is the real human being.
Once he said, while sojourning in the West, "For you, children of America, when my time has come, I shall perform the grace of God realization to one of your lowest types in consciousness, a criminal. He can make gods out of mud. Do not fear," he says, "depend on me. We need him always." Once a friend near suicide calls to him in despair. At that time, she was in America and Baba was in India. She put her heart's anguish into a letter addressed to him. But before the letter was closed, the inner wide space opens, and within her deep confusion, she sees his calm eyes appear. The passing quest is cleared. Calm and confidence in life is reestablished. He says, "I am in you, with you always. In you I work, and out of you I do the work in will and life in energy. When you in me resign, I in you can operate free. When you in me give in, I in you outwardly and inwardly free the rude, crude show of you, the I, and create you like me. I can in you prevent the fall, and I can in you render immune the want. I am in the all one pure work that can what no man can. I am infinite. I am truth. Although suffering in the delusion of the false show and Maya, we can within the pure indivisible self as intuition know, see, feel the happy design. We may call it unfathomable joy, love unselfish, pure faith. We need not name it at all. When we see in being in joy, we are the form in being as in joy, in faith, in love. We have become the new human being that is resigned to the delusion of self-experience and to the impure show of imagination. We are made conscious to be within pure good, unselfish, real, natural, and at peace with everything.
In 1937, Baba established an ashram for the Western group at Nasik. It was a passing phase. Here, in luxury and great comfort, he taught us detachment from the want to self-indulge in individual whims and desires. Baba begins by giving all and ends by taking all. He gave in the ashram in Nasik full right to the individual's self-satisfaction. Through the exchange in consciousness, we realize the deeper meaning of that order and training. He made us understand that in the divine scheme of life, truth in disguise in whim and wish and selfish will and low selfish desire, does the ingoing order to win, to control, to overcome through pure unconditional want. As truth being in disguise, he lured us to deeper into the dual strife, exposing us to more struggle, to more opposition, till we realize the reaction of love in the deep show in mind and being as our spirit existence, where he, within, in our life impersonal, does the stir that furthers our deeper understanding, our spiritual advancement. We realize that pure benefit and accepted, we realize that pure benefit and accepted the quest free. We know that we would become one in the strife, one in the with the adversity, one with life in opposition.
We were a group of different types, of different race and character also, different as types in consciousness. The deeper understanding freed us from prejudice, learned to be tolerant and to accept the differences. He gave us the strength to live up to the spiritual viewpoint, which is impartial. When this phase had fulfilled its results, he again closed the ashram in Nasik. He exchanged the external field of activities by ordering most of the members of the group to go back to their old life and to practice in life what they had been able to realize. The second ashram, which Baba calls simple, is in Mehrabad. This place is indeed holy for its memories of purer suffering and deep spiritual endurance. It is the place of perfect renunciation. Here, life has been given without bargain and without resistance to the impersonal scope. Hero men and women of tender age, and men and women of mature experience of life have donated the full price of life to the beloved. They have lived in real detachment from any order and attachment for many years, till they have achieved the last phase, which is detachment from non-attachment. Baba says of these staunch bearers of life, "To them I am father." Baba says of these staunch bearers of his life, "To them I am father, mother, child. They know me. Within they do realize my life as truth, that works the liberation of their mind, body, and spirit. They give me themselves to use through themselves the creation plan for truth. They surrender without pride their individual modes of life. Their own divine existence is my own life. I ripen the fruit of their life's labor. In feeling within joy, they own me. In spending life in self-sacrifice, they realize me. They give me what I owe in them. We who have come from afar in distant strife, in lonesome longing search, to find the way to realize life divine, bow to this wonderful result in fulfillment.
To all he says, give me you, and I will make you the wonderful I. The unfathomable exchange, the transmutation act. He operates in us unconscious, and with us the surrendering individual. He says, be the human individual that you have to be, and I shall in me consume your sin, your weakness. The annihilation act in our own ego's work, he consumes to fulfillment. When we understand that bad is sin, we understood that good has to replace bad. When we realize in him truth, then will be revealed to us the balance of good and bad. When we denunciate the low in creation, we denunciate Jesus. When we denunciate sin in our neighbor, we denunciate Jesus, the same perfect one as him, our beloved Sri Meher Baba. When we in our own selves puzzle, worry, we misuse in false speculations in mind God's work. We then create false witnesses, but through love we shall understand. To confirm this new understanding, he says, have I not been in you the alive, impure, pure impulse since the dawn of creation? Have I not been in you the unfolding understanding? Tolerance is the new impersonal understanding when you in me, the Son of God, resign. To surrender in him means to recognize in him the divine theme as our own individual theme,
Life theme.
an individual's life theme.
To be in him free, unbound, immune, we grow, live, and die to live eternally.
Jai Baba.
Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Thank you.
It seemed like a lot of reading. We didn't do too much.
Now, I want to give this one, and I gave it yesterday at Mayhair Center. They had a question answer time, and I just felt to say this. It's so beautiful. This came to Norina. I am the new Christ. You have waited and waited for me for a long time. I am the real guide. You will know my reality through direct experience. You will know me, you will see me, you will feel me. This divine revelation shall be my grace. You are born to love the living God.
Hmm.
It's so perfect, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
It's just such a grace, such a grace.
Hmm.
It's been wonderful hearing. It's been a long time since I read Norina's book. And after all of the messages through her mystical life messages and so forth um, for the last 5 years, and then to come back to this incredible jewel that you're reading from now,
Yeah.
and to see how much of that mystical life she was giving and that Charles and Christopher drew out of they put the book together, but all of the essential truth was already there all along.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a, in those first ones that seem, they just, all the gems are there
Yeah.
in seed form. It's so powerful, so powerful.
You know, it's so funny because at one time I had this close friend and she took me into the Baba bookstore here in Myrtle Beach and she says, I'll get you anything you want. What do you want? And I'd already had a paperback of 40 messages and Norina's diary, and I knew I wanted this Norina's gift. Look at it. It's well worn, if you could see. It's a heart has formed around Norina, if you could see it.
Yeah.
It's just so sweet. It's battered, but and it's been such a ongoing treasure, deepening. It's just such a treasure in plain sight. Yeah.
Keeps on ticking.
Very Did you see page 15? What was that?
Is oh yeah. 14, what do you see?
And I like the word denunciate. I haven't heard that
Yes.
in a long
Yeah.
I don't even know what it means.
To denounce something, denounce.
Yeah. Actually, Charlie, the antecedent to he on page 14, I think, is Joseph. So it says in the previous sentence, Joseph was a wonderful, pure man, almost greater than Mary on account of his past connection with the inner circle. In this life, he is incarnated as Norina. So the he referred
Okay.
to Joseph.
Okay.
She alternate, according to the Norina, she alternates male and female forms.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And whoever's been to India, there's a place where Erish's relatives, Akbar Press, would, I guess they used to maybe all live there. There were 10 of the Satas, Nashawan, Pilu Mama, Merji, but Nashawan Mama, he was out at Mehrabad one day before it was Mehrabad, and he found Baba sitting under a tree. And he engaged talking with him. Baba was talking then. And he comes back to Akbar Press, they call it. And he says, I think I met Zoroaster. The whole family goes out there. They all came to Baba. Boom. And the oldest one, Meher Jimani, on the way, Mara, when I was in India for a long time, she'd go twice and perform arti at Baba Samadhi. But on the way back from performing arti, she'd stop at Akbar Press and she would give prasad to, well, to Meher Ji Mama for one. I saw him one time, he was quite old and just like skin and bones in his mosquito net bed. And that's the only time I met him. And then Dunn, that had that
Muscular dystrophy.
muscular dystrophy, where, you know, her life was one big struggle. She suffered a lot. And she would be there conducting the household there. And Nashawan Mama one day says to me, and I never talked about anything about Norina or anything. He says, you know, Norina lives down the road. But I'd always heard the Baba grapevine that Baba had pointed him out as a young boy in a Baba lover family, and I said, well, I'd like to meet him. So he appears, he's 16, and he's in a trench coat, and we just kind of liked each other. He was just very natural. I would say he was quiet, but mischievous. He was mischievous, as I found out. But I never mentioned, you know, really not into being Norina. He was pointed out. I came to his house. The mother cooked me an unbelievable meal that I could have just died and been happy forever. But she showed me the communication. Name your son Merwan. He is the same soul as that of Norina. You know, it was just a fact of life, but pretty hard for him being Norina. He just doesn't go there. No, he's very into his beautiful life. It was a beautiful family, and yeah, just.
You know, Judy, I don't know whether, you know, it seemed like a lot of reading. I don't know whether it was in the gift or what, but we do have time within the hour and a half framework. If you want, we could read it once more, the message, or we can call it a day, but, or any other comments. There were just certain parts of this one that just
sometimes.
Of course, you all have, yes, Madeline.
Hi, thank you, Rosalie. I was maybe a small remark. Like Norina, she was psychic and she received messages from Baba. I think there are more people who are psychic and who can receive messages. And sometimes I also like things come true, like mostly in poetry, but I don't know if it's really from Baba or if it's from some middleman or something like this. I don't know. Yeah.
That's a very good comment. Because we don't know, but the one thing from Norina's example and Baba's announcement in the Avatar and whatnot is we're going in the direction of the age of intuition.
Yeah.
And particularly in his life message, life circulars, he empowers the individual to make choices. And that's, you know, as we're farther removed from Baba and the Mandali, their direct kindness, the more we have to look. And the only way we can true it is by our own, actually there's ways that, as are mentioned in the mystical language, where we can confirm that. But yeah, ultimately we all can have that. That's what he's saying, you know, find the other eye. And
yeah, so sometimes very simple, like I ask Baba, like, should I buy this in the store? Sometimes it's an ice cream or so, and then it comes true. So I don't know if it's really Baba, but something comes true and it's something out of me and outside of me, and it's like, no, you cannot have the ice cream. And then I say like, okay, I won't have the ice cream. And then comes true, but I don't know if it's Baba, not at all. But then it comes true, okay, you can have the ice cream. So
Oh,
You know,
not like this.
so much is living life in the moment and what comes up, and why not,
Yeah.
say yes. Say yes
Yeah,
when it comes up in
yeah.
the moment. Sometimes it's a challenge and sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's ice cream, what that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in India in 2008 for 3 weeks. And then, but while I was there, one day at the Samadhi, I got this thought, you're coming right back. It wasn't I really felt it was not my thought. Coming
Mhm.
right back. And by golly, I got back to Myrtle Beach and I spent a night on Baba Center before I just went home. And I woke up and I thought, I'm going back to India. I'm to go back to India. So I started making what inquiries and who to go with and
Mm.
sure enough, I had to be away 60 days, but by Amartiti, I was back in India or yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's kind of like trial and error, like you riding a bicycle. You don't
Yes.
know how to do it, a two-wheeler, and
Yes.
then it's so exhilarating when you're doing it. And I think this mystical language is a fast track to intuition. I don't even doubt it. I'm
Mm.
counting on it. I'm banking on it. Yeah,
Oh, all right.
that's
I'd like
my feeling so strong with this.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's very
I,
natural, you know.
Judy, what?
I'd like to offer something to what you were saying, Marilyn. Um, um, Listen carefully to those inner messages. Trust them. Trust them as coming from Mayor Baba. Don't play with them. You can around ice cream and things like that, but listen to the ones that come through that as Rosalie was just saying, it that don't feel like your own
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
your discursive mind. I've I've been guided my entire life by Baba with direct messages.
Mm.
And that's how one example is I was a student in Japan in my junior year, abroad in college. And I got an inner message in February of 68. And I didn't hear the words, but the words came directly to my heart. It's time for you, with these exact words, it's time for you to go to India and find your spiritual master. Baba was still in the body. It didn't come with a name or a place. But I already knew at that point of my life to listen to that. I loved being in Japan. I loved being at the university. I didn't want to leave Japan, but I dropped out of and I loved being a student, etc. I dropped out of the university, and the nutshell version is I hitchhiked through Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War to get to India. And, uh, got
Wow.
as far as Laos and worked for USAID in Laos, and Baba pulled me back to America so I could be sitting And I was looking everywhere. I had never heard the term spiritual master before that. I had a keen interest in Buddhism and had practiced Zen with Suzuki Roshi in San Francisco, but I hadn't heard the term spiritual master. But I came back I started my senior year at Berkeley University in January of '69. And I was sitting, I still remember and then I have trouble remembering words. The, the bench I was sitting on campus when I picked up the student newspaper on the 31st of January.
Wow.
And it said, there was a little tiny article, like 1 square inch. Avatar Mayor Baba has dropped his body today to live in the hearts of his lovers. And I pointed to it. I said, that's who I've been looking for all over the world.
Wow.
This gives me chills. Yeah.
Listen to those inner messages. Baba's guiding you. He brought you even to this meeting today. He brought you into his orbit whenever was the exact right time for you. And this is part of, and what Rosalie was saying is right on. All of this is this is the essence of what Baba's Advent is about. He tells us in all of these messages through like Mystical Life and those messages that he's come to bring about the transmutation of consciousness, is the words that he's been using. And that's what this is. And that's also part of what those inner messages of yours, trust them, abide by them, follow them. And I've spent my whole life almost never speaking of them to anyone else. They're something Baba gives me. They're not to be chattered about. The fact that this is being recorded.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should cut it out. I think it's maybe better because some people, yeah, I know. You can get into a lot of trouble if you.
No, these are for you, and my messages were for me, and they've come at important moments in my life, not often and not regularly, but they guided me when I needed to. He wanted me to turn or go. So listen deeply in your heart and find Baba in your own heart, because you and your own heart are actually Mayor Baba himself. We are all inseparable from him. And that's the main theme that I get from all of these mystical messages is, be you. I write down little messages. This one's the top one on my pile right now. See in you, me. Do in I, you as me. God has to be in you, him. Mystical Life 14. God in us is more in use in us than we could ever imagine. And it's so true.
There's a line that I post up. The first thing I see when I wake up, it is time to awake in you, the God. It's right from the mystical language, and it has a rhythm to it. And I'll pass by on our little altar where we like to pray, I'll pass by and have Baba's beautiful face, and I'll say, "It's time to awaken you, the God," because I'm looking at myself. I thought, this beautiful creature is me, the God man. It's like, whoa. It makes you feel like you found the best club you could possibly join.
Yeah,
And
that's for
it's
sure.
true. I mean, we are so blessed that he's allowed us to know of his presence consciously. Everybody else in the world is benefiting from it.
Yeah.
But somehow we are lucky, or I just call it blessed, that
We are blessed. He said we are blessed. Yeah. While
know
he
of
was on
him
earth, certainly. And
rejoice
it's
in
really
him.
like he's still on earth, just not in a physical body.
Which is he's more available.
Yeah.
That's it.
More available for that direct connection. Boy,
Yeah.
you did it
And
while
he
it's
said
hot.
that Erich, that used to read his alphabet board or his gestures, so often in the last decade of Erich's life, he would quote Baba saying, um, and it was the time element was a little bit nebulous whenever he quoted Baba with this, but for 100 and a little more years, um, this um, this is Baba speaking. For 100 and a little more years, um, I I will remain as
As
oh
if
gosh,
physically
As
present.
if physically present. Yeah.
I will remain as present as I was when I was there in person. And however you figure out the timing of when it started, or when now is part of that time, that
Yeah.
he's as present now as he was in the body. And he's really here with us right now at this meeting. And Wendy's joined
Take
us.
your direct
Wasn't-
connection to yourself.
Wasn't the last one of his last comments too? Erich said that quoted Baba saying, "I am the being of all beings."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this Eric said, simple and natural. Life is a joy with him. Without him, it is not. Joy is living with him. This is a new life. You're living from the heart, not the mind. He is the deeper self. There is no one to love except yourself. The self is God. Love yourself more and more. This is your inner being. I love that. That's like mystical language there, yeah. And I have Eric.
Beautiful. Oh,
Can you read that again?
Yeah.
Could you
yeah, very
please?
beautiful.
I know I'm late, but I just got back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hope you got a good report.
Yes. Simple and natural. Life is a joy with him. Without him, it is not. Joy is living with him. This is the new life. You're living from the heart, not the mind. He is the deeper self. There is no one to love except yourself. The self is God. Love yourself more and more. This is your inner being.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
I guess I was meant to hear that.
Yeah.
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 And laugh, the
Yeah,
laughter.
really.
I remember another very short quote from Erich about the term joy. And Erich said a number of times, being with Mayor Baba was no fun. It was filled with
With
joy.
joy.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to be
Yeah,
his mom.
yeah.
This is a challenging path to be on, but ultimately and intimately, it's filled with joy. I mean, that's,
Mm.
yeah.
I have
That
to say, when I first heard Eric say that, I thought, no fun, I love fun, but I like joy better. I like joy better. And you know, in that one mystical language says, and so it is in this making believe that I hear him God as man. Be sure of this and never doubt and never hesitate to come to me for help. If it is for a tiny bit of mercy, come to me. If it is for a tiny bit of love, come to me. If it is for a tiny bit of joy that has no end, come to me. I love that. Who but God could say that? Huh?
Lovely. Lovely.
Okay.
Yay.
Good to see you, Wendy.
Yeah, good to see you.
Oh.
Wendy.
It's nice to see everybody. Sorry, this is the best I could do today. I was like, okay, just give me 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Ah.
was just reminded, David Silverman used to come to the meetings at the center and he'd get there just as it was ending. And I said, you always come for the afterglow. He
Well,
got
you
it
are
all
all
in a
glowing,
moment. You get
for
it all.
sure.
some of the best part of the
That's
that last
true.
quote.
It
One
really,
of
Oh.
my
it really
favorites
built
ever.
today. You know, I did have
Yeah.
one, I might just mention it because, no, that's enough. We've had enough. Let's say Avatar, Mayor Baba Keith.
Baba Kid,
Next day week, we'll be continuing the gift and then the 9 days tour,
Continuing joy.
continuing joy.
very good.
And it all happened.
Same time? Like we're still at this
It's gonna
time?
be 3 o'clock
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
It all happened in that blue bus.
Jay
Yeah,
Maribaba.
Baba.
Baba.
Hey, Mayor Baba.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Baba,
Thank
Madeline.
you. Bye bye.
yeah.
Thank you so much.